am excited to talk about the INFJ user guide again tonight. Welcome everybody. So this is the third week, I guess, that we're doing the book club. We're talking about my book, which is right here. It's called the INFJ user guide. If you don't have a copy yet, you should definitely go get one. You can get them on Amazon. They come in paperback, which is what this one is, paperback. And then you can also get them for Kindle. Yeah, and if you do go get one and you read it, I would appreciate it if you would go leave me a review on Amazon as well. That would be awesome. Okay, so tonight we are talking about chapter 3, which starts on page 16, which is all about intuition. Intuition is one of those things that's kind of difficult to talk about because it's like, if you know, you know. A lot of people don't know because most people don't have introverted intuition like we do. And most people don't have it as their strongest function. But the easiest way for me to understand it, or to explain it, I guess, is that it's just knowing things about people and knowing things about things that are happening, knowing things, sometimes even knowing things about the future. And it's not really like a clairvoyant or a psychic type of thing, although it kind of seems like that a little bit. It's more of, we just pick up a lot of information, and not just through like what we're seeing, but sometimes through what we're feeling, a lot of unconscious things. We're collecting all of this information and then it all comes together very quickly. And so we're able to know things about other people a lot faster than most people do. Plus, we process those things in our brain a lot faster. And then we use our extroverted feeling, which is our second function, that helps us know things about people too. So both of our first two functions work together really well. And it just helps us. It helps us read people and it helps us know things. And when we get feelings about somebody, it's usually pretty strong. And it's not always a bad thing, although sometimes it can be. An example that I like to use, I used to work for this company, and the first time that I met my boss, I didn't like him. And it wasn't like I didn't like the way that he looked or, anything like that. It was just like I got a bad feeling when I was around him. And I tried to tell people that, and they're like, you're kind of judgmental, which I've been called judgmental a lot in my life because I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize that I had this strong intuition and that most people don't understand it, right? So a lot of times my family would say to me, you just make these snap judgments and you're not basing them off of anything. And it's like, well, I do have something to base it off of. I just can't explain to you what it is, right? So I met this guy who was my boss, and I was like, I just really don't like him. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't have a good feeling. And the more that I worked at this place, I got to know other people there, and they all really liked him. He was like this super friendly type of person and, very personable, and everybody was like, he's just a really great guy. And then the more I got to know him, the longer that I worked there, I was like, oh, he's not really a great guy. He acts like a great guy. But he's really good at using other people to get ahead. And he's really friendly to the people in management that are above him, but maybe not so much to the people who are below him. So there were a lot of things that were like, oh, see, I told you, he's not that great of a person. But sometimes it takes a while for it to come out. it's not just those types of situations. There can be other situations. Sometimes it's like you pass somebody in the grocery store and you just notice things about them, or you get a feeling about them. A lot of times it happens with people that you first meet. I almost think it's stronger then, or maybe we're paying more attention just because we're kind of on the defense, you know? I don't know if you're like this, but every time I meet somebody new, I'm usually pretty quiet and laid back because I want to see how they are. I want to see how they act and how they react to other people. I just, I want to be like, I want to know what's going on before I start interacting with them. And I think I rely a lot on my intuition to tell me, like what should be going on here? Like, is this person somebody that I really want to be around or not? Intuition can also help you in other areas of your life. A lot of it comes from things that we think about, and ideas that we explore. So it kind of works together as well with our feeling function. So we talk about how we make decisions with our gut feeling, rather than facts and logic. So your intuition plays a part in that too, because usually your intuition will be telling you like, this is what you need to do. And sometimes it's not very reasonable. When I moved to North Carolina the first time, I moved twice actually. I was moving 1,500 miles away from my parents for the first time, and I was like 25. And it didn't seem like a very reasonable thing to do, right? It wasn't the responsible thing to do. I didn't have a job. I barely had an apartment. And I had like $300 to my name. And I just threw all my stuff in my car and I was like, I'm leaving. I feel like I want to be in North Carolina. I had visited Charlotte before. And when I was there, it just felt like home to me. And I was like, I have to do whatever it takes to make it work. And it took moving twice to actually make it work, but I did eventually stay there for about 6 years. And then when I left, I was laid off from a really good job that I had. And I decided to go back to the Midwest because it felt like my time in Charlotte was up. And when I tell people that, they're like, what do you mean? That's like a weird thing to say. Charlotte's a really nice place. There's a lot of opportunities there. There's a lot of business there. It's gorgeous there. The weather's pretty nice. So it's kind of funny to watch people's reactions because, when they ask me why I moved to Boston, then sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I just felt like my time in Charlotte was up. And they're like, what does that mean? But it's also like, like I started, if you know, you know. And so some people they're like, oh yeah, I get it. I know what you mean. One of my friends told me that that's why she moved to Boston, because she just felt like she should be here. And I was like, yep, I get that. That's why I moved here too. So, that's kind of intuition. Sometimes it comes off as like seeing the future. It feels a little bit more like deja vu to me. Like sometimes I come into situations or have conversations with people and I'm like, I've been here before. I've done this before. I don't know, it's not familiar enough for me. It's not like a memory. It's just like a feeling like I've been here before. I feel like that's part of intuition. And some of it for me is like I run through millions of scenarios in my head about different things, especially if it's like conversations with friends or difficult conversations that I have to have either with my family or at work or something. I always want to know, like, not just if I say this, they're going to say that, but like, if I say this, well, there's 10 different things that they could say. And then I have 10 different replies, and there could be like 100 different scenarios, There could be thousands of them. So I think that's part of it, because I spend so much time thinking about, okay, if I say this, they're going to say that, and like what's going to happen in the middle of all of that. So I think that's part of it too. There was something else that I was going to talk about, and I forgot what it was. I don't remember what else. I wrote down, though, I wanted to talk just a little bit more about functions. I don't know why. There are some people who have been on my page recently, on my Instagram page, attacking me basically about functions. I understand that there are two sides of personality types. The first part, if you're talking about the Myers-Briggs personality types, is preferences. That's what Myers-Briggs is based off of, is preferences. Carl Jung was more interested in functions. So I think it's important for us to know both of those things, your preferences and your functions. It isn't one or the other, it's both. And there are a lot of people who have different ideas, right? If you go off of what the 16 Personalities website says, then they have a different theory. It's similar, but it is a little bit different. If you go off of the Keirsey temperament sorter, theirs is a little bit different as well. If you use an Enneagram test, theirs is completely different. So it really just depends which one you're using and what you're talking about. Obviously, the letters INFJ, that is a Myers-Briggs thing. They came up with those letters. So for me, the main basis of what I use is Myers-Briggs. And then I also incorporate functions, which is part of the original foundation of what Myers-Briggs was built off of. So when you talk about intuition, what we have is called Introverted Intuition, which means that we explore ideas and possibilities that come from inside of us. That means that it's an internal thing. It's more having to do with us and how the ideas that we come up with and how we feel about things. There are people who have extroverted intuition, and theirs is more ideas and possibilities outside of themselves. I wish I could remember what else I was going to talk about. There was something else, and it has totally left me, so I don't know. It was kind of a short version tonight. Do you guys have any questions? I don't see any questions that have come up. So I'm going to scroll through the comments really fast. Don't you feel like I'll have an easy personality to read? I feel like most people do. There are very few people that I can't type. My parents are some that I can't type, or that I haven't successfully been able to type yet. But most everybody else, it's pretty easy. My niece and I, you can tell we like New Kids on the Block, from some of the concert stuff I have in the back. We type everybody. We type our favorite celebrities, our favorite singers, our friends, everybody. It's just easier to, interact with them. It's easier to understand them, to communicate with them at all. It's a lot easier if you know what their type is. Can you explain the judging part? Yes, we are going to talk about the judging part of our personalities. Not next week. Next week is feeling. No. Next week I'm going to a concert, so unfortunately I won't be here next week, but I do have a video that I'm going to post for you guys. Courtesy of the magic of Facebook and Instagram, because they let you schedule videos. So there will be a video for you to watch next week, although I won't be here live. The week after that, we're going to talk about feeling. And then the next week, we will talk about judging. So, yeah. That's what I have tonight. Like I said before, if you purchased my book on Amazon and you like it, please go leave me a review. I would really, really appreciate it. Also, I'm getting ready in about 45 minutes. I'm going to do a workshop on how to go from overthinking to doing. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you check it out. There's a link for it in my bio. There's been several different posts about it. So if that's something that you would like to do, please, please, please come and join us. And I guess I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. I hope you have a good weekend. So you just watched that video and I'm sure you enjoyed it. If you want some more amazing information about INFJs, check out these videos right now. I'll see you there.